I went into the bathroom and I was like, I'm gonna go wash up because I was covered in blood. And I go to the bathroom and I'm just like standing in the mirror, like poke, and I could poke my own skull, which was like a really weird thing to be able to do.
Yikes.
And then I realized that like I had been drinking, so I should probably not be doing what I'm doing. So instead of cleaning myself up at all, I just walked out of the bathroom still covered in blood and was like, yeah, I'm good.
Welcome to the 52nd episode of the Cast That Ends Creation. I'm your host, Chris Deering. This is the show where I interview bands and public figures in the mathcore adjacent communities. If you beautiful people in chat have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them in. I'll try to read them aloud. If you'd like to sub for $5, you get access to some exclusive emotes, as well as access to the interviews before they hit YouTube and streaming services. You can also get a free sub by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. It's like taking $5 from Jeff Bezos' pocket and putting it into mine. If you like watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to this in your car and have no idea what I'm talking about, the show is first shown live on Twitch. Join us every Sunday and Wednesday for the live cast at twitch.tv/thecastthatenscreation. With that out of the way, let me introduce our guest tonight who dropped their beautifully crafted sophomore effort, Modern Grotesque, back in February. Welcome in, Dreamwell. How's it going, guys?
Hey, doing good.
Nice. Tell us who you are and what you do in the band.
I'm Ryan. I play mostly the rhythm guitar parts of Dreamwell.
And I'm Justin. I handle bass.
Alrighty. So is your name Dreamwell because you expect people to fall asleep and you're wishing us sweet dreams?
That's a good one. Like, I hope people have sweet dreams from us.
Sleep well, dream well.
That is the connection I was
probably
making, yes.
We constantly make meme names of ourselves, like, in our band chat, and it gets hectic sometimes. Like, sleep bad is a very popular one that gets used.
Sleep what?
Sleep bad.
Oh, sleep bad.
Bad. Yeah.
I like it. Why the name Dreamwell, though?
Originally, it was like a name me and the original vocalist had like put to the side, and we came a day where we needed to find a name for this band, and we like threw it out there, and it stuck. So it kind of really didn't have any meaning at first, other than like, I guess, like the word Dreamwell itself kind of like was inspired by Touche Amores' Throwing Copper. So I was just like, yeah, like a band's like a Dreamwell basically. You keep throwing your fucking wishes in it and like hope something happens, but all you can do is like keep throwing copper,
I like that. I like that a lot.
But yeah, so it's like basically the only lore I can give on to like there's a meaning behind it.
So you guys started,
other than it wasn't taken.
So you guys started in 2016. How did it all come together?
So we were introduced to one another through our friends in another local band called Anyone Anyway. The band Anthony, our drummer, and I was sort of coming to a close. Our guitarist had moved to New York, and we were looking for another guitarist or another project. And I was going through the Starbucks drive-thru that the guitarist and the vocalist of Anyone Anyway work at, and like they knew it was me, and they were like joking with me through like the drive-thru receiver. And when I pulled up, we were talking for a bit, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm looking for people to play with," and they recommended Ryan. So Ryan and I met up with our original vocalist and a different drummer. I don't even remember his name. I just remember he got into a really bad car accident.
Oh, fuck.
But yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad for forgetting his name. Damn.
And we played once on like a weekend, and then we didn't talk for like 4 months. And then we hung out again, and it was all the members of Dreamwell, and that's how it started.
Alrighty. You guys dropped your...
Yeah.
You guys dropped your debut full-length, The Distance Grows Fonder, in 2017, and now you've released your sophomore full-length, Modern Grotesque. it's freaking amazing, guys. Like the
Thank
beautiful
you.
melodic sections and how they build up into this crushing release of like just pure emotion is absolutely insane, and it's so catchy too. I just want to say one of my favorite parts is taken from Plague Father, Vermin's Son. I'm the little, I guess you could call it a chorus. The clean section was, I must have taken part in the violence. I can't have only been a victim. I must have guided the hand that broke me. I was shaped by abuse, and now I'm the Vermin's Son. Dude, it's just
Yeah.
so good. Such a good segment right there. Yeah, let's talk about some of the current influences that go into this. What are y'all currently listening to?
A lot of like Pupil Slicer and Death Goals and every other relative release in the last year. That's Islet. I've been listening to that album a lot. I think that was technically 2020.
Oh no. I'm saying your influences for Dreamwell. Like what?
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
During Modern Grotesque, what do you listen? We listen to like a weird balance of old music and new music. So like you'd walk into the practice space and honestly I set my friends on fire. There's a good chance we were listening to any track off of Water Without Laughter just because all five of us love that band. That it's one of the few bands that all five of us have in common. But we'd go from that to like honestly Death Goals because we discovered like Wretch and Stacy Let Me See Your Stegosaurus early on in recording.
Dude, they're super sick. They're gonna be coming out with a new one sometime soon too.
We can't wait. It's in either this month or next month.
Yeah, it's pretty soon.
June?
I'm not sure when.
It's June.
Yeah, those
June
guys are
4th.
awesome.
June 4th. I remember the date.
But yeah, a balance. What else did we do?
I was listening to a ton of fucking like Caspian and just like the classics like post rock bands like Explosions in the Sky and no, there's like one more. Well, I can't remember them. Anyways, those bands.
Frequented.
Huh?
Eated.
Yeah, a lot of Every Time I Die too.
How much Eated?
I'm like always constantly listening to If I Sing the Sorrow and Code and Cambria, Second Stage Turbine Blade. So as far as like influences for the album, those are probably like the biggest.
One thing we can point out,
Yeah,
is that you know how Spotify did that like you can compare your account to a friend's account and I'll show you how much you have in common.
Oh no.
Okay.
So there's the year that or like the week that was going around, Ryan and I compare each other's and we were 99%. Like we were listening to the same exact music for an entire year. And that's probably what's making this conversation so difficult is because we listen to the exact same things all the time. So like it's pretty normal for him to be like, oh, check this out. This band just came up on my release radar. And I'm like, dude, we have the same release radar. Like, what are you telling me this for?
Yeah, our text message stream is just basically us going back and forth, sending the same exact fucking shit, and just like, yeah, I got that. Here's this. Oh fuck yeah, no, I already have this. Here's this. Okay, this is cool. Well, here's this. Oh, I have this already. Fuck. Here's this. Oh, okay, this is cool. And it's just like constantly sending each other fucking music that we just are still listening to the same exact shit.
Well, that's awesome that y'all could be on like the same page and stuff. Like, it really shows that you guys have put a lot of thought into this record and that y'all have really gelled and come up with your own like signature sound. It really has like made it that much better.
Thanks.
Thank you.
What's the writing process like? Is somebody primarily directing it, or are y'all just bringing in different pieces and seeing what works?
There's like two writing styles that sort of go on in Dreamwell. There's we pull out a random riff, or like Ryan writes a riff, or Aki writes a riff, and they bring it in, and we build around it. And sometimes that works great. I think Sayaka, we built from scratch in an entire practice. And then other songs like Crouching Tiger or The
Wait,
Lost
you finished
Battle.
the entire song in one practice?
Yeah, Sayaka was written in
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, basically.
the only
For the
hard
most part.
was that weird interlude with like I guess everyone calls it the Thule part with like the
Yeah.
bass weirdness that's going on. We sort of got stuck because it was us two and our drummer, and we were just like goofing off before Aki got in. And we came up with a song. She gets in, she puts her parts to it, and then we don't know where to go. And I had written that like weird interlude thing as like a post rocky bit, and we were like trying to crowbar it in. Anthony's like, "You can play it, you just got to cut notes out of it." And he honestly just sat there like a metronome, playing drums for like a half hour as I struggled through that bass riff. And by the end of that day, we had no intention of writing a song, and we wrote Sayaka.
Dude, that's awesome.
Because like we like finally figured that out, and they were just like, we just go back to the same thing. Okay. And but like we had to like the timing of that was like the most, I think, the most like work we had to sit down and be like, okay, do we want to do like a hard break, go into it? Do we want to do like a count into it, or like just go straight into it? And it was just
As far as timings go, nothing was worse than Mountain of Salt. The outro on Mountain of Salt, we spent 3 practices trying to figure out the best way to end it before we ultimately just said, well, what if we do like a really simple sort of breakdown? And after spending 3 days of like all these technical riffs that we could like spit out and like write to it, we went with this easy breakdown that ended up fitting really well, that we were all happy with, but that we had to sort of like laugh at because we spent days just trying to figure out what would work best.
That's crazy. Y'all can do like a whole song in one practice, and then this one takes you like forever to get done.
Yeah, basically. Like I don't even know how many times we rewrote that song. Like at least 5. Like we always had like the first half down, and then it was really just like once we go into the like very chuggy part, it was just like, what the fuck do we play here? And like there's like 5 different versions that just didn't make the cut that exist. And like what Justin said, we were just at practice one day and I was like so frustrated with it just like not working that I was like, why the fuck don't we just end in some like breakdown or something? And KZ was all the way over in the other room. We like practice at Justin's barn, and there's like a den area where we have the whole band set up, and then there's like a living room that's on the second floor and like an A-frame like ceiling bullshit. And so it's like all interconnected, but like KZ always just sits there and like writes lyrics while we go over there and do our bullshit. And yeah, anyway, so they just like yell over from across the way, and there's like, yes, absolutely. And so yeah, that's just how it fucking happened.
Do y'all record demos and stuff as you're going along, or are y'all just trying to remember this stuff?
Yeah, like many phone recordings.
Are there tabs out there?
No.
Didn't get that technical. I gotcha. It can be difficult.
As far as technical goes, Aki is one to write like entire songs and bring them to the table. Like she'll write 5 different parts and be like, here's a drum idea, here's a bass idea, here's the rhythm idea, and here's where I think the whole song should go. And then we sort of as a collective go over it and figure out like what exactly are the drum parts going to be, because she'll put something very bass down, but just to give like ideas, and we might even change like the framework a bit, but we would be remiss to point out that she has like compiled entire songs. And to some extent Ryan has too. I want to say like Sissy was an idea you had for a long time.
Yeah, it was yeah, it was like those 2 main parts basically. And honestly, like that was like a song where you started writing your bass line and I like adjusted my chords to fit what like you were playing. Because like when you walk from the G to the F sharp.
Yeah, I remember
in
that.
The da like that thing, like I was only holding on the G and I was like, oh fuck, I should also drop to the F sharp while Justin drops to the F sharp. Yes. Yeah, so it's like a lot of just like bringing riffs to the fucking place and then putting them out there, and they just kind of figure out their ways on top of each other until like it works. And that's kind of like why a lot of our, like at least between me and Aki, like our guitar parts are just kind of like really fucky with like the way they layer, because it's basically like one of us bringing a part that's like already really just like a main part, and it's like, well, I could just sit back here and like play chords, or I could like think of another thing that's like half rhythm, half lead, and try to just make it work. And I mean, apparently it's been working so far.
Well, shit, yeah, it
But
definitely works. It sounds like on the
it's
album when
almost
I'm listening
entirely
to
what
it,
it
it
is.
seems like a masterwork, and the way you guys are describing it, it's just like it just happened.
I mean, like it just happened, but like these are honestly like practice days that like run. I think the longest time we've had a practice is like 10 hours.
Jesus Christ.
But on average, they're like 2, 3, which
How
is
long
like
did it take to write the
at
whole
least
album?
1 hour of actually playing.
The whole album is weird because we started it immediately after our first release, and we had like Sayaka and Painting already done, and then we parted ways with our first vocalist. Went through almost like a 9-month period without a vocalist in which we were trying to figure out what we were going to do. So we keep writing in that period. We picked up another vocalist. They wanted to make some changes. They were super unreliable, so we ended up parting ways with them after spending 6 months with them. And then we had like a month of downtime before we finally met KZ. And then honestly, the first time we practiced with KZ, they put vocals to Sayaka and Painting in the same practice. I want to say like one day they were just like,
So the actual
Jeez.
timeline was we were at practice waiting for a response from this vocalist that ghosted us for like literally 2 weeks. And we was like, are you gonna come? Are you not? And they weren't answering, so I was like, you know what? Why the fuck don't I just message KZ? And it was like literally mid practice, like still had my guitar on, everything, grabbed my phone, this is like, hey, I wanted to like be the new screamer for Dreamwell. And he was like, yeah, why the fuck like haven't you asked me this 5 years ago? I was like, okay. And it's like we practice on Sundays. He's like, yeah, I'll be there next week and send me a couple songs. I'll try to figure something out. And like showed up with lyrics for basically Sayaka and Painting,
That's crazy, man.
and just went in like on first practice.
That's awesome. His lyrics are insane too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think those were like prepared within the week too.
Damn.
Yeah,
He's a machine.
like this was like I messaged them on Sunday. We practiced on Sundays. Next Sunday, they showed up with the lyrics. I was like, holy shit! Like, there's not once ever been a vocalist to show up with lyrics on the
That is
most
true.
practices. But you know.
So what was the recording process like? For your last one, it looked like y'all recorded it yourself, but this time around, you let Ryan Stack at Format Audio and Noise Floor do all the work. Why the change up?
So the first, I guess we're going to talk about it. The first release was, we decided we were going to put like a demo together of the like 5 songs that we had at the time. We were going to do it ourselves because Aki is a tech, so she knows how to do it all. And she had a studio space out in Alston, I believe, at the time.
Something like that, yeah.
We booked it and we like rushed into it, and in our head it was a demo. By the time we get drums down, we realize we have like 3 other songs and we have essentially a full length. So we decided to make it a full length without like checking ourselves in that process and making sure we were miking everything the way we want a full length to be sound. So right off the bat,
it was like almost very spur of the moment, to be honest.
Yeah, it was more or less
like we showed up at the place to do the demo, and then we started, and we are like, well, this is like the full length, right?
Like, yeah, why don't we just
like,
do a full length?
Yeah, like, and yeah, we tracked that whole album in a single fucking day. That was ridiculous.
Really? Holy crap! The whole thing?
I tracked my guitar parts at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude, that's a lot of work.
Like I have a very old profile picture of like me tracking, and it was like at 2 in the morning, and I'm just like the most exhausted I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
But I was like, I need to finish. Everybody else did their shit. I need to finish. I need to do it.
That's
Yeah, there was
crazy.
no way we were heading back into that studio for another day of that shit.
I never want to go in that place again.
And because we rushed so much and because we thought it was going to be a demo, it came out the way it came out. So when we had the opportunity to do a second album, it was time to like put the amount of thought into it that it deserved. Like we spent 2 years writing these songs. We weren't going to like rush into it and record it in a day. We already had experience working with Ryan Stack from Anthony and I's old project. So we went with him. He recorded one of the World Is albums, the green one.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. So like I will come back to Stack. And him in the studio is just another thing. He's absolutely.
It's what I need.
He's honestly like a dad. If you fuck up while playing, he'll look at you and just be like, "What are you playing? Can you play that? But you can play it, but does it sound good? Maybe you should play it differently." And I'm just like, okay.
So he gave you the push that y'all needed to make this good.
So actually on
Not assault, right?
on the Lost Ballad.
Okay.
Is that the emo breakdown song?
I think it's Mountain of Salt with the pitch shifter.
No. I was talking about when he made me put a capo on my guitar because like
I wasn't there for that.
you weren't there for that.
I had a funeral because that's my life.
Oh, fuck, dude. I'm sorry. Yeah. So I think on the Lost Ballad, on the like the pre like emo breakdown part where it's like me going yeah, that part. Apparently my G string like wasn't properly like it wasn't intonated. I don't know why I'm going to like try to explain that it like oh it was supposed to be. No, it wasn't intonated. So Stack like was like, "Oh, use this capo to put it on here. We're going to tune it cuz like right now it's like very slightly sharp and it's bothering me and it needs to be better." And it was like, "Okay." So I basically like tracked the part like having to learn how to play it with the capo to like make the chords slightly more full too. And
Turns out he was right.
yeah, I don't know. So like that's I'm trying to explain an Easter egg on the album. That's like what happened.
Yeah.
While recording Sayaka, we recorded bass without going through my like pedal board, and then we really did so I could trigger effects while we were going, right? And we get to the end of Sayaka where there's like crazy like squeals, and those are all bass parts in which I boost the octave with a PS5. So it just jumps 8 octaves. So the bass goes from very low drop C to like super high. And obviously the engineer doesn't know this is about to happen. So I stamp on the pedal and it just goes, ee! And he stops. He immediately turns around, looks me in the eye and goes, "What is this juggalo shit?" And I was just like, "This is the way the song goes." He's like, "What?" And I had to convince him I didn't make a mistake, and this is how we.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so this like forever became a meme between us and him that like jug shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
What is this jug shit?
Revival. It's a juggalo revival somehow.
And like in Modern Grotesque, like the drum break, the like that's like POD, apparently. You for the Nation. So like we got roasted for that while we were just trying to fucking track some bass. Hi, Kitty. This is Mitzi. But yeah, back to that Sayaka moment. It was like I was sitting on the couch next to Justin, like while he was tracking. I was like the whole time sitting there, like, why the fuck is he like tracking completely clean? I'm like, why is he not using any of his pedals? And like he finished and Stack turned around. I was like, yeah, that was like good. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna reamp that, right? And he's like, what? No, like What do you mean? He's like, well, we were gonna like run that through, and then I'll do my pedals. He's like, you didn't use your pedals? He's like,
No, that was not an assault.
oh, whatever the first song you tracked in the day.
Yeah.
So, what does modern grotesque mean? Why call the album that?
So
Hazy question.
basically, KZ was very inspired by Flannery O'Connor. That's the one. There, guys. And she's like a Southern grotesque writer or something, and he took a twist on it and made it into the modern world, basically. Whereas in, she was writing about like a very, like specific culture centered, issues or like grotesques, and in the modern world where it's like very streamlined and on the world and on the internet and like things are just like intermingled, basically the like common day issues of that, I think. I'm trying to quote words.
So it's basically like a societal commentary.
Yeah, basically like the current big issues and a character like kind of experiencing them and trying to fix them in themselves.
Oh, so this is a concept album.
Technically.
Okay. You'd say a loose concept.
Well, because so basically they were just like kind of writing lyrics, and about 5 songs in, they were just like, oh, there's a theme here, and kind of like basically flipped it into like concept.
Okay. Yeah, their lyrics
So
are.
that's why like a lot of the songs are like almost like character based, like or like narrated by like the person.
For sure. Especially where was it? They mentioned Dominic and Negi and Negai. I don't know. Do you know what that's about?
Apparently that's like
I don't know.
Like straight up, apparently that's like a person they like dreamt about.
Okay.
Like I don't like fully remember, but like yeah, basically like that person was some story they would just like dream, and had the dream multiple times, and we're just like, yeah,
Okay. All right.
or like they were like, yeah, something like that.
So, Janelle Chioneri? I don't know how to say her name, but it's the person that did your album cover.
Yeah.
Holy crap, guys! This is a beautiful album cover. Like, oh my god! When I first saw this, it was just like, god damn. So is this an actual painting?
Yeah.
Yeah, she does like the swirl art things.
What is that called,
so
man? I was trying to figure that out today, but I cannot figure out what that was called. What?
They're pores.
One more time?
Pores, P-O-U-R-S.
Pores. Okay. Because I've seen people do that type of stuff for like countertops and things like that, and I could not figure out what it was called. But yeah, this totally looks like one of those countertops. It's so good.
Isn't it like kind of like hydro dipping too, or something?
Yeah, except it's the reverse. Instead of dipping something, you pour it out and it spreads unevenly. Yeah, I should know how to pronounce her last name because I've been friends with her for like 10 years now.
Justin, you're the one that needs to answer this question.
I already gave it a shot, man. I'm not going to try to say it again.
From there, yeah, I met her in college like years ago and introduced her to Dreamwell because she also takes photos for bands. She's really good at it. And we invited her out to a show in Providence because like we surprisingly don't play that much in Providence, but we did one night. I was like, hey, we'll pay you if you can just come to this real quick and take photos of our set. She came through, gave us photos, and when it came time to pick out artwork, we were all very undecided as to like what we wanted for the album. And I was like, y'all remember Janelle? She also does this on the side. And she's got like this huge portfolio of pours she's done. And we honestly sat there for a good hour being like, this one or this one? That one. And yeah, that's where we get the album art and the 2 single arts.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
what
like,
does she do it on? Like
because
a canvas or?
She does canvas and she does other mediums. And then she can also like, if she does a pour on canvas and you want it on something else like a phone cover or something like that, she can have that done for you as well.
That's sick. So you can buy this art.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do y'all have it?
No, none of us own the actual
Come on,
hard
man.
copies of our
I gotta
album.
buy that shit.
I know, we
Hang it up in
should.
the jam room.
Well, I mean, we licensed it, like.
She's got the hard copy.
No, like straight up, like she sent us like a whole bunch of options, and like we straight up just like we couldn't decide on just one, so that's like why the singles ended up being just her work too, because we needed more than one.
Yeah, it's really good. The whole package
then-
is just perfect. It
yeah.
totally fits you guys so well.
Oh yeah, and we'd also be messing up if we didn't mention our
Jared.
dearest friend Jared, who. So we practiced in Attleboro, Massachusetts, at my old house, and it turns out Jared, who's become one of our closest friends over the course of the last year,
We're
lived
just
like
down the
50
road the whole
minutes down the
fucking
road.
time.
And we didn't meet him until we went on tour down to like Philadelphia, Vermont, and New Hampshire. Did this like little circuit, and like we just like spent 5 days in a van with him. So like we became good friends. And when it came time for photos and like artwork and illustrations, we started like, hey Jared, hey Jared, hey Jared. So he eventually became our guy, and it turns out he lived just 15 minutes up the road from us, and he's the one who put together the entire artwork package. And most of our visual stuff is honestly just him now.
That's sick.
I think the funniest shit is like, because we were on that tour with another band, and Jared was with them to take photos for them. And after we played the first night, we were just like in the band. We were like, wait, we have a photographer on the tour. Why don't we have them take photos for us? But then like we were so fucking self-conscious of just like literally asking somebody to like pay them to take pictures of us, or we're just like, hey, like we were just sitting in the van with like after the first show, and we're just like, so you know, we'll pay you. You think you can take pictures of us? And there's like, yeah. I mean,
It's like, yeah, it's why I'm
totally.
here, right?
And it's like, okay, well, like, what's your price? You know, it's like everything with Jared has been so fucking innocent. It's hilarious. It's just like literally us be like, hey, we know you know how to do this thing. Help us, and then it's like it comes out amazing, and we're just like, oh well, we just have to only go to Jared now because they fucking know what to do.
It was on that same run of shows. We ended in Vermont, and it was like the dead of winter, so it's like negative 10 degrees out, and like we made the decision to stop for alcohol. And Ryan had never had a Four Loko, so Ryan and I get Four Lokos. Jared, unbeknownst to us, also grabs a Four Loko. We hop back in the van. We get to the venue, unload. We finish our Four Lokos. We play the set. I managed to rip a chord in half in the first note.
Nice.
We go outside after the set to like smoke a cigarette or whatever. We look to the left, and Jared is just standing there smoking a cigarette, drinking a Four Loko, and just like staring off into the sky. And we're like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, Four Loko. And at that moment, I just knew it was like a perfect friendship.
Four Loko does things to people, man.
Dude, that show was such a fucking blur. We showed up to Vermont and just like negative 10-degree weather. Just it was a tundra. Like it was probably like some random residential neighborhood, but like the van doors opened and I just like woke up from taking too many dabs and took a Dramamine from like a 10-hour drive from Philly, and just fucking was like, oh, we're here, and it's like looked down and it was just like snow sideways and like 2 feet of snow, and it was like, oh, we're at the house, okay, and we just like crawled out basically, and the only thing I drank that night was just the Four Loko while we were playing, and I don't remember much that happened.
This would explain
But
why four of
it
us
was fucking fun.
mosh pit for like the deathcore band that finished off the set.
Oh my god.
I'll play with Deathcore, man.
Lost Bear was the
Yeah.
coolest fucking band that night. I don't even care.
It was Lost Bear, and like they
Okay.
just played this riff that was filthy, and like four of us just looked at each other and we're like, we're going in. And the four of us
Like
just like,
everyone was out of Mosh retirement.
That's awesome.
Oh.
So
Like I got hit in the back of the head so fucking hard. I was like, wow, I needed that. That felt so good.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody saying that getting hit in the head felt really good. So you have this weird symbol. I'm gonna actually blow up the artwork a little bit so I can show it more. But it's like a diamond with like a ring in it. What's going on with that?
you want this one? You want me to do this one?
No, I you got this one.
So early on, like when we were looking for artwork, we wanted like a logo, but we didn't know like what we wanted, and we asked. It was Dylan Sylvester, right?
Yep.
In a band of, they're now
Arrowhead.
Arrowhead. Is he in something else now? Does he play?
I think he just did drums on the Greg Marquise album. Like
Okay.
Greg solo album that he just put out.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, I think he did drums for that. And he's doing
so-
a lot of like more graphic design stuff for posters and shit, I think.
we talked to him about doing a logo for us, and he gave us a ton of artwork. And we got that piece. We really liked it, and we just decided to go with it. I think the only comment we had was, "Can you flip it upside down?" And he did. And it became our logo.
So it doesn't really have any meaning then?
I know we wanted to use like moon symbology early on, and we haven't really stuck to that. So I don't think it has too much meaning.
Well, does it have moon meanings?
Well, the
It's
circle.
It's technically like a well. Like the circle is kind of like technically the well. It's like an upside down well, kind of basically if you look at it like that. Where like the top of like the fucking shit.
Oh, like you're on top of the well? Like looking down into it? Is that what you're saying?
This is awesome. I'm learning.
Yeah, I was like, are you just trying to come up with a meaning now?
No, it's like I'm over here staring at the fucking like stickers and it's like, yes, art. What does it mean? Fucking yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna give up on that one. It looks cool.
It does look cool. It does look cool.
Yeah.
You guys did a badass video for this. It actually just premiered on Brooklyn Vegan today. It's for You Dreamt of Me, I Dreamt of a Mountain of Salt. I'm gonna go ahead and play that. Here we go. So yeah, what? Oh, maybe we're not playing it. Oh no, there we go. Okay. What was it like recording this? Well, who came up with the concept?
Whew.
Mostly KZ and Aki. And as far as like getting Jared to do the music video, it was basically like, oh, let's do a music video. And I was like, okay, I'll message Jared and like see if they'll do it. And I was like, hey Jared, I know you've never done one, but want to do one? And he was like, I've never done one. If you want to trust me, but doing my first music video with you, I guess I'll do a music video. And I was like, absolutely, we love you. And he's like, okay. And so we invited them out to the barn at midnight and got the cops called on us twice. And made a
Nice.
fucking kick-ass video.
Yeah, we filmed it at like the place I used to live, which was also our practice spot. And like this was during that like when COVID had the first wave, and we thought it was going to end in like the weird part of the summer. So we planned for that week. We realized it wasn't ending. So like in between live shots, we're all like throwing on masks and stuff. We're getting makeup done, and it was our drummer's daughter who did all our makeup, and we're all like wearing masks, so she's like this close to our face. We had to move all of the gear out of the practice room in order to get those shots of KZ in the salt circle. We tried
Also, the lamps for those lights in that room were like halogen lights, so you shouldn't be using them indoors. And we were like had the plastic films, and they were basically melting as we were trying to hold them. while Jared was shooting KZ in the circle. And just
Oh,
being
like the
Aki
different
around.
colors and stuff. You were holding up colors
Yeah.
for different colors.
So like that was like created by me and Aki standing on the sidelines, holding them in front of these halogen bulbs that were very hot, and like we're basically like holding oven mitts to fucking hold them up, and they were just like falling apart as the scene was going on, and it was like you had to like adjust it to make sure it was like fucking working.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it was a very DIY, just like I make it work, and just like shit falling apart, but still keep going.
And speaking of shit falling apart, when we recorded all the nighttime shit first, all the outdoor nighttime stuff, and all right, so like I lived on a farm that has like tons of space in between all the neighbors. We go to this little section of it that's like surrounded by trees, and there's like a meadow in the middle. And you got lights from work, and I had a generator. So we thought we were gonna rig up lights and maybe our amps, that way we could like backtrack it. So we were all like doing the same stuff. And if we could play live, great. We didn't even have enough power to support the lights. So like halfway through our first take, all the lights just drop and we're outside in pitch black and no one can see. So we're like jogging up and down this farm for like a good 45 minutes, just trying to get extension cords and like new ways to angle lighting. And then
why not just like mimic playing it?
We ended up having to, but like so much of that song is cued by guitar parts that we couldn't like all stay in time with one another. We really wanted to stay in time, even though there was no point in staying in time.
So the field we played in for the video and the barn where we practiced at was like a good 1/8 of a mile jog through this field, and it was also again like 10 at night, so it was pitch black. So the amount of like standing in blinding light and then having to just jog into the distance of fucking darkness to the barn because like we had to like go get another thing to try to fix another problem was just like endless. So it was just me and Justin like running back and forth in the darkness. It was like I can't fucking see, I was just blinded, and then like get to the barn like, oh, okay, just jogging back and forth and just like
yeah.
Like half those scenes we probably look exhausted because we were literally just running back and forth trying to make shit work.
And like we ended up playing to a Bluetooth speaker that we had to like jog back to get, and then jog back to grab a charger, and all this dumb shit.
That's awesome.
And then the cops get called at the end of night one because we went past midnight. So it's like technically we were breaking like noise laws, whatever. We were in the middle of a field.
Really? Yeah, like you're in the middle of a field. What the hell?
And like none of the guitars are plugged in. The drums were stuffed with shirts just to like mute any sound.
Were there like houses within sight, or were you all like literally in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah.
That's so weird. Why do they care?
Maybe called the cops on us the next day in the middle of like a Saturday.
Yeah.
That's dumb. Are y'all in like some like in a place you shouldn't be, like somebody's property?
No, it's just snooty people. It's just like literally the like people that was like, oh, you're making my life hard because you're enjoying yours. Like, fuck you.
Dude, yeah, fuck that. That's stupid.
The cops pulled up and I had an ACAB shirt on, and and I was just like, hi, officer.
We were also driving out of a field in your Mini Coupe.
Yep.
That's like 3 squad cars. Yeah, wow, that was Boston. Squad cars fucking drive up your driveway.
There's a scene where KZ knocks over some tea candles with a bunch of wax in them. Did he like get burns and shit because of that? It looks like it had. There's no way that the wax did not get on his hands.
That was also like a spur of the moment thing.
Yeah,
he didn't get hurt, or they didn't get hurt.
No, like both like Jared and KZ kind of had like a moment where like, it'd be really cool if we just like swiped the candles and was like, yeah, that would, but we only have one shot to do it because like we're not remaking the circle of salt. So like if you fuck it up, like it's fucked. We're like, okay, let's do it. But then we're gonna do it, and they're like, oh wait, no shit, the wax is gonna go everywhere. How are we gonna clean it up? So like Justin held like the whiteboard as like a backsplash, the fucking like catch all the like wax splatter while Casey like swiped. And yeah,
That's awesome. We need like a behind the scenes. Y'all should have been filming the making of.
it was, yeah.
That would have been really interesting to watch, actually.
Well, like the issue was like because it was so like DIY, I guess was like all of us were like had a role in just making the fucking video work. So it
Right.
was like no, there wasn't even anybody that had time to hold a phone, you know?
My cat kept trying to like play with the salt and like
Yeah.
swing it everywhere, and I was like, no.
So y'all are planning on playing a bunch of shows live. I'm sure as soon as we're able to get back together. What would be the song you're most excited to play live?
Um, honestly, probably Tiger at this point.
Crouching
me.
Tiger waits for the prey that never comes.
Yeah, yeah.
That one is a banger. That's one of my favorite ones.
I like Mountain. I like any track that I can step on a PS5 pedal just to make weird noises. I'm in.
I sold mine like immediately after recording the album, so I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
can't use that.
What do you mean PS5 pedal? What do you mean?
It's a super shifter, so it just lets you jump octaves.
Okay.
So at the end of Mountain Assault, when those like weird waves of sound hit, that's all bass. We like triple dubbed the bass. It does like a super high, a super low, and like a normal octave. But live, it's just very high. So like the room gets very shrieky, and I enjoy it.
Actually, no. I sold the pedal after we recorded the single version. So on the single version, you actually hear my guitar also doing the fucking stupid ass jug noises.
You're talking about
But when it came, Sayaka, yeah.
I was talking about Mountain.
Well, whatever, dude. Like, I'm trying to give more lore. God damn it.
So
Yeah,
what are
you have
your
your
rigs
bass.
like?
Oh, you want to go first? Yours is like the most dumb.
Yeah. So as far as recording on the album, I used for my guitar, I have a Squier custom deluxe fucking Telecaster something or other. Whatever, basically it's just like a higher end Squier that has two P90s and it's a Telecaster. So that's my guitar, and I recorded through a Fender Twin Reverb, and I think it's a 76. Yeah, it's 76 Fender Twin Reverb. That I bought off Guitar Center for like $700, and the reverb and trem doesn't work.
Nice.
Currently, I made a tweet about it the other day. I have the power cable duct taped down, so it's like it has a kink in the cable basically, and if you hold it a certain way, it'll power on still. So it's duct
So this
taped
thing's
to
destroyed then.
Hold that kink. It's
Just a
it's
little
not
bit, okay.
destroyed, but like the
It's got more
corners are kind
character.
of like separating a little bit. In the same picture of the duct tape, you can see how I like shoved picks in the cracks of like the fungus sprouting.
The fungus sprouting, okay.
Dump's tail, like joints. And then
So lots of character. Gotcha.
Oh, it's amazing. And one summer day, me and Justin decided to put cat cloth on our girl cloths. And so now the Twin Reverb has cat girl cloth because we were very inspired by Tiny Moving Parts, Dylan's fucking puppy rig. So I was like, well, fuck the dogs, I want cats. So we went to Joann Fabrics and got some cat fabric. Because
Alrighty.
like practice was canceled that day. We just like went out. We're like, no, we're gonna do something productive still. And so now it's the Fender Twin Catverb, and Justin's cat cab didn't last.
No, for a brief moment I had a 215 Joe's cab that I put cat cloth on, and like it just all blew out. It was not having the cloth. But I don't really use that rig anyway. I For the album and live, I use a Sun 2000S and a 6x10 Sun Cab slant baffle. For the album, I used a Rickenbacker 4000S. And immediately after the album, I got a new bass that I'm really sad to not have used on the album.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is not the
Sandberg.
perfect time for that.
Yeah, I got a Sandberg VM4, and the thing is,
The amount of 1 a.m. night messages I would get from Justin, it was like, oh, it's on sale. They're sending me discount coupons because I'm watching this item on Reverb. Oh, I might get it. I was like, dude, just fucking get it.
I got it, and
Those stimulus checks coming in clutch, huh?
I haven't been able to play a live show with it. It's in the music video. But yeah, and recently, Every Time I Die's Mitch from Every Time I Die, their bassist, he just got signed to Sandberg, and he picked up the same exact bass. So I know I made a good decision, at least in that regard.
Nice. So speaking of like playing live, oh, you got some pedals and stuff. Go over the pedals.
I didn't. Yeah, we didn't say pedals. Fuck, what I use. I basically use like a Keeley for a knob compressor for everything, and then for drives I use combinations of a blues driver and a iron drive, which is just like a tube screamer with mods. Justin died. Anyways,
Rip Justin.
And fucking, I did that out of order. Keeley for a knob, EP booster, always on, and then into either the blues driver or the iron drive or both sometimes. And then for reverb and delay, I just used a fucking carbon copy deluxe. And what did I use for reverb? I think I had the slow. I had that.
You do have slow, yeah.
Yeah, and I think I used that for all the reverb, basically.
So y'all are really into pedals, huh?
Oh yeah. Is it
and I use a DL4 for so the end of Crouching Tiger, that like looping, like some whatever, is basically just my DL4 reverse halftime looping the chord, the ending chord progression of Crouching Tiger. That's what that like dreamy loop is.
My board is actually right here, so I'm just gonna like, if this works, I'll be so fucking happy. Is it in the shot?
It is.
All right.
Yeah.
We go volume.
You're making me want to get mine. God damn it.
To plus pedal, and this is like it's a freeze pedal on steroids. It essentially lets you do piano sustain. Into the EP booster, which is almost always on. Into the Dark Glass Duality Fuzz, which lets me get some like weird frail body sounds. Into the Dark Glass Hyperlumina compressor. Into bass EQ. Into the Super Shifter for like the weird whoopy sounds. Into the reflector for what does reflector do? It's a chorus. Into the Red Panda Context for delay and reverb, and then a Dark Glass B7K Ultra as a preamp. Yeah.
Dang, dude, that's a setup. Echo Beauty Terra in chat says that there's not enough pedals in this band. Kind of agree. Got to get some more pedals.
Do I have to get my board?
No.
So, speaking of like playing live and stuff, what is your best show that y'all played? Y'all done a couple of tours, right?
That's a good question.
Little weekend things at least, right?
Yeah, and some of those have been amazing.
Best show.
But like for me, like it depends how you quantify best show. Like we got to play with Shizune from Italy at the same time as Lytic, former members of Seisha were playing with them. And we played in like this tiny basement in Cambridge, and like members of Shizune and Seisha covered Rain's tiger suit, which was fucking insane to be in the room for. But
I was too busy smoking a cigarette.
Oh, you missed out. We also like we got put on that 68 set like way before we should have.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Like,
Y'all played with 68?
yeah.
That's sick.
It was like our
At the Middle East in Cambridge, yeah. So are we saying best show as far as like what we've enjoyed the most?
Yeah, like what
Or,
yeah, what sticks out in your mind the most is like being your best show. Yeah, I guess what you enjoyed the most. Yeah, sure. Whatever you quantify as the best.
URI.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Like,
I really like the State Fault show though,
oh fuck, I forgot about State Faults.
because that was a show that we got Janelle to do
Photos.
pictures for us at, and then that's kind of like where we got like officially met up with Matt with Illuminate My Heart Records, who is doing tapes for the album.
Ooh.
Selfish plug here.
We had that Birds and Bros set.
That was cool.
Yeah, I saw the flyer for that. That was also with like, wasn't that with Portrayal of Guilt too?
Yeah.
Trail Grill.
Dude, that's a
and
fucking
Geary.
lineup, man.
But
Yeah,
honestly, that URI set, like it was like a weeknight, and it was like a three local band bill, and like the headlining band had to drop out, so we ended up like being the last band on the bill, and we were expecting maybe like 20 people, and it turned into an easy 200, and we packed an auditorium.
Damn.
And like we just like played one note, and there was an immediate circle pit, and we were just like, okay,
Dude, holy shit, that's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, it was like 5 degrees outside too.
It's always 5 degrees outside.
It's always 5 degrees.
I can't think of anything that top those. The tip is also like amazing every time we play at the tip.
I was gonna say like when you got your eyebrow busted open.
Oh, that's not the best show for him, is it?
It was memorable. It was a fun night.
You know, and might fit into the worst shows. So what were the worst shows y'all have played?
It was definitely that Eyebrow Night wasn't the worst show because Eyebrow Night was a stacked bill, and we were all really excited to play that night. Between like Rasputin coming, like we're playing their house, Anyone Anyway coming from Providence, us being there, Northern Life coming from Connecticut. It was really just a bunch of bands that we were friends with hanging out.
Did you have to go to the hospital?
Oh yeah. Like,
Yeah, I had to drive him.
we finish our set and like we're in the pit and Anyone Anyway's playing. They're good friends of both of ours. Vocalist, like the last song of the set, he goes to like run into the crowd and we like bump heads really quick. And I didn't even notice what happened. I thought I was just sweaty from being in a packed basement and playing a set. And like my friend was in front of me and his shirt was white, but it started turning red. And like I noticed I was like sticky. So I was just like, dude, I'm gross. And then like I touched my eye and like there was just like a pool of blood in my hand. And Ryan's off to the right and he's like full mosh mode. And I tap him on the shoulder and I'm just like, eh? And his face went from like having fun to not having fun.
That's crazy, man.
Oh,
Yeah, and then we just like parted the fucking Red Sea and ran out of the basement. And we got to my car and I was like, yeah, I got some band-aids in my glove box. It'll be no big deal. And like I finally grabbed the box of band-aids and like turned around and then like looked at Justin and like saw his fucking eyebrow again. And just kind of like looked back and forth between him and the box of band-aids like 3 times. It was like,
Yeah, I don't have enough band-aids.
I think we're gonna have to go to the hospital. So I just like ended up like throwing them a random T-shirt that was in my car and was like, hold this to your head. And he was like,
oh yeah, the refectory.
eh.
From Connecticut. I ruined one of their shirts by bleeding all over it.
How many stitches did you have to get?
11?
11? Jesus,
Sound like
that
that.
sounds like a lot. I'm not sure if that is or not, but to me, it sounds like a lot.
Oh yeah,
It was like an hour of Carlos stitching him up. So yeah.
I went into the bathroom and I was like, I'm gonna go wash up because I was covered in blood. And I go into the bathroom and I'm just like standing in the mirror, like poke, and I could poke my own skull, which was like a really weird thing to be able to do.
Yikes.
And then I realized that like I had been drinking, so I should probably not be doing what I'm doing. So instead of cleaning myself up at all, I just walked out of the bathroom still covered in blood and was like, yeah, I'm good.
It was kind of like just like the more blood Justin lost, the drunker he got. And it was like one of those like bad fucking like like two bro like comedy movies. It was like, oh shit, I gotta get this guy to the place I need to go, and you're just in the car and just like obnoxious like
I wasn't
fucking
obnoxious.
backseat. No, not obnoxious, but you're sitting there and you're just like, why are you driving 10 and 2? You never drive 10 and 2. Are you okay? Can you drive? Are you drunk? Can you do this? Are you okay? I'm like, Justin, shut the fuck up. I'm trying to save your life.
That's fine. I think worst set though, for me anyway, my point of view was the 68 set. So we had this phenomenal opportunity when we were early on in the band. We were going to open for 68 Listener and our friends in Actor Observer. So we go in, we sound check at the Middle East upstairs in Cambridge, and it's a sold out show. So like we want it to be a good night. We're sound checking, and all of a sudden Ryan's like yelling at me, and I'm like, why? And my amp's on fire. So I just like, I'm staring at my head, and I'm just like, and Ryan's like, unplug it, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay. And the sound guy is like, you got to do something about that. So I take it outside, and I'm standing out in packed Mass Ave in Cambridge as my head is just billowing smoke, and I'm like, I just paid to get it retubed.
Nice. y'all are just that good, you know? You just shred that hard.
Oh no, it was just like a shitty amp technician ruining.
No, like that happened. Then we had broken strings in the show. Yeah.
What's your worst show?
Me?
No. Oh yeah, you.
Okay. No.
Oh, me. My worst show. Christ.
Was it New York and you hurt your ankle, your foot? I'm trying to like think of days where like was bad for you.
It was bad in general. Like maybe the crowd wasn't feeling it, or I don't know. Maybe y'all got in trouble or something like that.
Trouble, no, not like that. Probably we played the Footlight in New York on our first like weekend tour that we ever did, and we did so much. Like we got to New York, we parked, and then basically for the entire day, because we had like 7 hours to kill. We like me, Justin, Anthony, and I think Ramsey was walking with us too so much. And like we just did so much fucking walking that I developed like this huge ass blister on the ball of my left foot.
Ugh.
And it eventually like popped halfway through the day.
Nice.
So
No.
I don't exactly like
it was
sit
not nice.
still. Yeah, and so like we basically loaded into the venue that night, and it was like pushing all the amps in, and it was like my foot is fucking killing me, and it was like this is like the worst fucking shit. I don't know how I'm gonna play, because like I don't really sit still much when we play. I'm very much so bouncing a lot, and so I kind of just had to like enter the mode of just like this is gonna fucking hurt, but just like forget it even exists. And there was one point where like the stage is weird and like multi-tiered, and I was doing my shit like hopping around, and I think I like went down to the bottom one and like went to go back up to the top one, but then like was like facing the back of the stage and like turned around and like forgot there was a step there, and basically was like slipped back and fell into the back of my like half stack.
Jeez.
And
did you knock it over?
Like almost, it was like teetering.
Okay.
But it was also like at the part of the song that was like just me playing, like of course like the crazy like emo breakdown bullshit thing, and I was like on the floor like on my like ass just like and it's like look over the fucking Anthony, he's like, oh, he's still playing, okay. It's like
I was
so
confused.
that happened.
I looked over to your side of the stage, and you were just sitting like on like the ground, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing, dude? We're playing a show."
That's awesome.
So that was rough, yeah. But the greatest kielbasa ever at the end of the night.
Oh yeah, the food at that place was amazing.
So it's not even the worst show at that point. Like,
No, it was a really good show.
Damn it.
What about the weirdest show? I think places other bands I've talked to have gone to is like a ice cream parlor. We had a band play for a bunch of fifth graders in like a elementary school. Anything weird?
The Greek social club.
Yeah.
What?
While there were like, people there.
There's like these 70-year-old Greek dudes just like trying to play poker, and we're here doing our screamo bullshit.
Like at a bar or something?
No, like a restaurant.
It's a social club.
So y'all are like playing while other people are like trying to enjoy their food and shit too?
I think like at the end of the day, it just turns into like the spot where the old Greek dudes hang out.
Why
So,
would y'all
like,
do a show there? That's so random.
Yeah, I don't know. That's where it was booked, dude. We
It
showed
was
up.
a stacked show though. Like who were the homies that played there.
Not Lytic, fucking Labor Hex.
Labor Hex, yeah. And what else? Kodo is weird. It's like a sushi place
That
that
was a fun video.
puts on shows. So like really nice sushi place. And like at around 7 p.m. they just like clear a pit, put down a stage, and then they're like, all right, here's where you play. And you're like, I play really loud. Like everything in this room is going to rattle. And they're like, yeah, it's fine. And like people are at the bar enjoying sushi and you're just like playing a scram set.
That's sick, dude. That's so sick.
Actually, I forgot our very first show was probably like the worst show.
Okay.
I've like blocked it from my
3060
memory that much.
Which the 3065 one?
Yeah.
That wasn't our first one though.
Wasn't it?
No, we did. Our first one was with when KZ was in.
Oh, that was the Vulture Peak show? In Brockton?
Vulture Peak was at that set? No, Vulture Peak was when you were in Lymphoma. We're so bad at this.
I'm thinking of Mother Moon.
Yeah, Mother Moon. So we played
that
like
band.
our second show was 36.5 Live, and that was fucking weird.
That was the weirdest, worst show.
There was a Tool cover band. There was like a high school pop punk band. I don't even remember. There was the Striptease band.
There's a striptease band.
Striptease band, alrighty.
There was my D string like popping out of the nut on my guitar for like half of 2 songs.
Did the striptease band's G string pop out of the nut too?
No, it was just like literally like I don't even know how to explain it. It's like as vulgar as you can be, just like without being vulgar, but it's like, what are you doing? And like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, it was like a folky noise project. And like halfway through, this woman just starts taking her clothes off, and we're like, oh, she's going for it. Like she's sending this. And like she had this like weird nurse lingerie, if I remember correctly. I don't remember.
Literally, dude.
It was odd.
Well, this definitely qualifies as a weird show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how do you dress your hot dogs? Random question out of left field.
Eat hot dogs?
I eat hot dogs. So actually, I've had a great life-changing moment happen in the last month where, for some reason, I thought all relish on the face of the earth was all like sweet pickle relish.
Oh no, it's not.
Right. So I found out that there's dill relish.
You found out that there's
Now
actually good stuff out there, not just... Dude, sweet
Right.
pickles are horrible, so
Awful. Trash.
belongs in the dumpster.
Awful. So yeah, basically. So either like this like classically, I guess, dill relish and always celery salt.
Celery salt, that's an interesting one. I haven't heard that one yet.
That's a Rhode Island thing.
It's a key component.
Yeah.
You don't eat a hot dog without celery.
Does it taste like celery or does it taste like salt?
Yes. It tastes
so
like salt
weird.
celery. It tastes like dried celery with salt.
That sounds weird, man.
It's fucking like, dude, I know it's like the worst thing ever just to add sodium to sodium, but you have to at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And then you also can't beat like a classic like chili cheese and onion dog, but if I'm trying to not be like a disgusting human being, then just
And salt it
dill
up.
relish and
Should we mention like Rhode Island and like our culture of hot wiener?
Wait, what?
So like there are places there's like wiener joints like Coney Island sort of deals, but like Rhode Island calls them hot wieners. And
That's awesome.
you can go into them and be like I want 3 wieners all the way, and it means 3 hot dogs with everything on them.
That's
What else can
ridiculous.
it possibly mean?
my other favorite like confusion is like people don't know what coffee milk is, and like
What is
you'll have
coffee
someone
milk?
that's moved. Oh
It's
my
milk
god.
that tastes like coffee.
Here we
So
go.
it's just milk
It's-
in coffee? Like what?
Okay, so you know how there's like chocolate syrup and strawberry syrup?
Okay.
There's coffee syrup.
What? I don't understand though. It's creamer.
No,
No.
it's
Oh, it's
you know how-
coffee flavored syrup. Is what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
I don't think I've ever heard of that before. What do you do with
It's
it? You just
what
like
it
put it
is.
on ice cream or something?
You put it on ice cream. You put it in
You make coffee milk with it, dude.
Okay, put it in your milk. Okay, so it's concentrated coffee then, is what it is.
It's not
Oh,
even.
it's coffee syrup.
It's just a flavor.
Oh, what's the point
It's
of this?
it's like to have coffee milk.
Just put coffee in your milk? I don't.
Oh my god.
Just put chocolate in your milk, which I guess people do. So like,
Why do you have chocolate milk?
I don't
This-
know, man. It just seems like it's unnecessary to have like a syrup that's flavored as coffee.
It's unnecessary to have syrup flavored as chocolate.
No. That's it's very important because it's how you get chocolate milk. You know what I
Oh.
mean? But coffee, like
Right.
you're already
Right,
combining milk and coffee to make like actual coffee. So
you
this,
could put it on ice cream.
you could do that. I can see that. I can see that.
Have you ever had a coffee frap?
I mean,
Yeah.
Frappuccino? Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're gonna die sad.
No. I've had a Frappuccino before. I mean, what?
It's not the same thing as like
No.
a coffee, like an autocrat coffee syrup.
Like a Newport Creamery coffee frap.
I can't say I've had that.
So like what we've learned today is Rhode Island's chief culinary contributions are hot wieners and coffee flavored syrup. That's really
Don't forget linguiça.
that's Portugal. That's not Rhode Island.
Well, there's like a community.
There's a community.
So I saw that you guys donated all your profits from the Bandcamp Day in March 6th to Black Trans Advocacy Coalition. $505.26. That's pretty amazing. Why'd you guys do that? Why'd you donate all your hard-earned profits? And why to this group specifically?
I mean, it's basically at heart is a queer band at this point, and for like it was basically like the first like real Bandcamp Friday since the album came out, and like the whole leading up to the album coming out was just, like a lot of hype came from like basically the trans community on Twitter and a lot of people who like Aki and KZ talk to, and we felt it was kind of like only right to try to give back to that in some way, and you know.
Well, there's a bunch of different groups for like trans advocacy and such. Why choose this one?
Yeah, we wanted to go with one that was a little more specific. Obviously, having 2 trans members, they're issues that we hold close to heart. When it comes to Black trans people or trans people of color, it's even more marginalized. It's even harder to make an impact on those communities, and they're more at risk. So we wanted something that was close to like our values. And that fit in quite nicely. All of us are sort of political in our own like spheres. Obviously, last year with the BLM uprisings, all of us took part to some degree. And this was like the first time we could actually give back as a band. Like I know we have the smallest fucking platform. We're not like a huge national touring act or anything, but even if it's something, just to be able to say that we did it, yeah, we're happy to do it.
That's awesome, man. That's what's up. I know my pronouns have been all over the place too, so I'm sorry.
Fine.
But yeah, yeah, that's really cool that y'all did that. Speaking of which, your album has blown up. Like, it's way bigger than your last one. If you just look at the Spotify plays, like, it's insane how much bigger it is compared. Why do you think that is? Like, what'd y'all do promotion-wise that made this so big?
Well, we actually recorded it like a real album, so
Yeah.
that helps.
Okay.
It wasn't a demo.
Yeah, like right now y'all are in like around 1K to 2K streams a day. So it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Is there like anything in specific you guys like could point to, or like, oh, that's the reason why?
Not really. It honestly, every time someone picks it up and listens to it and is like, "Hey, this is great," it blows our collective minds. Like about a month ago, the Mountain Goats like made a comment about us.
Yeah, I had that in my notes, but I totally forgot the name of the band. Yeah,
we lost it. And like we were just not prepared for that level of attention, or like, not even like a big musician commenting on us, but like a big musician thoughtfully commenting on us was, we didn't think that was going to happen. You know, we had been sitting on these songs for like 2 years, and, you know, we wrote it, so we think it's good, but we don't know how other people are going to perceive it. And we just hope it's going to be perceived well. And, you know, we were working with a label for a little bit to try and put this out, and that fell through. So when it came time to release it, we were really just on our own. So we were like, here it is. Hope you like it.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
like wasn't even on Spotify the day it was released.
Oh.
Yeah,
Like a week late.
Even though that happened, though, like it still just like took off. So
Yeah,
congrats.
That's like kind of like
real.
what is so shocking about it.
We're incredibly grateful to everyone, like our close friends, bands we've played with, bands we've never even heard of, or not never even heard of, but like, we've never been in contact with, have reached out and been like, hey, this is great. This is like album of the year contender. Pupil Slicer has been incredibly kind to us, and we're just like, we listen to you when you're saying nice things about us. Like, this is fucking unreal. Yeah, it's.
And then there's like Raccoon City that we just like kept putting on lists with. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with them. They're from Australia. They put out an album like 4 or 5 years ago, and they're releasing new material finally. And we found out about it by being included with them on like posts and playlists, and we were like, holy shit. And then like they reach out and contact us and are like, hey, your stuff's really good. The same thing with like bands like Respire and Black Sheep Wall have been like, oh, hey, your album's nice. And we're like, we're very much so like the like lower division team being called up into like the nationals, and we're just like, whoa, what's happening? And, yeah.
Black Sheep Wall is a bunch of awesome guys, by the way. I had a nice conversation with them not too long ago. But yeah, this is absolutely album of the year material. Like, y'all are totally in my top 10 right now. Amazing stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And just so you know, I don't say that to every band. Like, I really mean it. Like, y'all are definitely up there.
Thank you.
I've literally been having a person at work tell me that that I've just met for this week, and basically at work how everything goes is like, oh, what do you do? And it's like, yeah, you know, I'm a musician. I fucking have to have this conversation now. And it's just like immediately like, dude that's never been in a band or picked up an instrument is like now telling me how I need to run a band to make money and what I'm doing wrong. And like literally like based upon the fucking name and like genre alone. And I was like, dude, like I get for some reason like you think you're helping, but you're just not.
What was his advice?
Like listen, there's his advice like be a fucking pop band or something.
It's like this screams weird. The screaming's weird. Get it out of here. All this
like,
weird reverb you have going on, just chuck that too. Like, come on.
Yeah, or like something about like fucking like, oh man, like girls don't like that, and it's like, dude, like what the fuck? Like I'm making music. Like, I have the stats here. I can show you. Like, people are listening to it. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you're telling me over here is like it's fucking failing, and like I just put out this album and people are listening to it. Like, just leave me the fuck alone and teach me how to do electrical.
So you guys have a couple of shirts, right?
Yeah,
3?
we have this one.
Oh, nice. The little triangle symbol. I like it.
There's probably like 6 of these left or something. This is the only of this one left.
The first one?
It's missing the border on the outside. Oh no. It's a medium. Anyone that's a medium that wants this never gonna be made again. OG Dreamwell shirt.
Good old
Fucking
Times New Roman font.
rip your heart out, kid. If you order a shirt, you're gonna get some stickers.
Dude, that's a shit ton of stickers. Holy crap.
2,000, yeah.
And then we have 2 more shirts coming out soon.
Nice.
In 2 different colors. One black, and I think we can probably leak that one is pink. No one's gonna like freak out.
It's pink.
Yeah.
You guys have said you had cassettes on the way, but no CDs or anything like that happening?
No, not yet. We're working on some vinyl things.
Okay.
A lot of people have asked, and like we really love that people are asking. Like we weren't expecting people to want that.
You could definitely sell some vinyl. Yeah.
I mean, we'd love to print it. We'd love to be able to say that we put some of our music on vinyl. We want the pours to like the artwork to be on vinyl.
That would be sick.
We're just
Like Jared's already even like mocked up like vinyl displays.
the artwork is made.
Yeah, and it's mastered for it already. We just need to fucking make them.
Alrighty.
So just check back in like 9 months. It's like a baby. You gotta like wait for it. That's what you do with babies, right? You wait for them.
Yeah.
That is all you do with babies.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, you're in another band. Amite?
No one knows.
Amite.
Okay.
Yes.
What's going on with you guys? I saw you hadn't done anything since 2019.
So I play bass in that, and we are basically we've kind of just been writing for the last year of the pandemic since there's nothing else to do. And so we basically have like enough shit written up right now to go in and do an EP and a couple other like obligations we've kind of like said we need to do.
Couple more splits and stuff. I saw y'all guys love splits.
Yeah, I think there's like 1 or 2 that still need to be filled out. That and like we haven't had a vocalist, so we've kind of been split between like figuring out what we're doing with that, whether we're just like making it work or someone falls through or falls in. Yeah, so
Dude,
like
sick
that,
shirt, Callous Cowboys, bro.
Whoa!
Callous Cowboys.
I've never heard of them.
Dude, that's sick. I never seen that shirt design before. It's awesome. I'm sorry to interrupt you, man. Like the shirt
No,
just caught me off guard.
Yeah. So basically, I fucking I don't really like know a whole lot of the business sides of the band. Honestly, I just kind of like show up and do my thing. But fucking yeah. So we're trying to record something soon and get it out there.
Nice. What about you, Justin? You in any other projects?
No, I would have joined Immediate for a hot second if I didn't recently move. For the past 6 months, I've been based in Iowa. I went back to school for archaeology. So this is my one and only project. It's my baby. A whole lot of it. I gotta stop making baby references. Fuck.
What are you trying to say?
Oh, me, man. You're the one who's engaged.
Oh, congrats!
Not gonna happen. Thanks.
Are you really, or is that a joke?
No, I am.
Dude, that's awesome.
Thank you.
What was the last album you guys listened to? Sure.
Pupil Slicer.
Nice.
Absolutely in love with the new album. May or may not be trying to learn bass riffs off of it because I'm a little obsessed.
Yeah, they killed it, man. It's just amazing how much they've blown up too. You don't really see mathcore bands taking off like that anymore. That's awesome.
No, and, like just the amount of riffage and like insane riffage at like high speeds. I'm just like trying to count their time signatures because like they change every 5 fucking seconds, and like they're in and out of them before I can even start counting. I'm like, guys, homie, slow down. What about you, Ryan?
I've been listening to the Death Goals singles a lot because I need that album in my life.
Oh yeah.
But
What about Chell's album of the year?
yeah, probably for 2020.
Yeah, sure. Or 2020 or up to this point this year, whichever.
Fucking
You forgot everything. You don't even know what music was last year.
what is music?
The stuff with guitars, you know, it goes diddly diddly do. That.
I mean, I've definitely been listening to like Free Health a ton. And
Oh yeah, they put out a sick one this year, man.
yeah, and the latest Islet album is kind of like what's been popping up most for me. And I think for some reason last week I listened to like half of Incubus's discography for shits and giggles.
Nice. Alrighty.
It's all over the place.
What about you, Justin? What's your album of the year?
For last year, I'm gonna go with either Boneflower's Armor, or Svalbard. When I Die Does It Get Better? I think that's the name of the album.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Both were just fucking amazing. Like the Svalbard album is up there with like that Respire album that is also fucking amazing. And Boneflower is just fucking chilling. And I love when like I find a band from Spain where there's not that many like heavy bands, and then like there's one that just doesn't.
I've never heard of Boneflower before. What's the genre?
It's sort of like Pianos Become the Teeth, but like if they stayed angry.
Okay.
Or like stayed super sad.
Angry and super sad. I like it.
Yeah, and they have like some more like classical kind of.
Yeah, they throw some like Spanish guitar riffs in.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, I like almost forgot Redura is my album of the year.
That's this year for sure. Thus far.
Yep.
Because Death Goals is going to heat up.
Speaking of Spanish guitar.
That's Italian guitar. Whoa.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forget the fucking bone structure of that one.
What else? I mean, every time I buy, it's going to drop an album this year, and it's going to blow everything out of the water. So we have to hold on to that too. What's your album of the year thus far?
Me?
Yeah. Let's play the spot real quick.
This far. So far, the only ones that have like, well, okay, so there's People Slicer, which is great. So far, we got three, I think. I got People Slicer, Caranier, or four. I'm sorry, People Slicer. Caranier dropped an awesome album. They're like kind of cybergrind, screamo type of stuff. You guys definitely, and Nursing had a really sick album earlier this year too.
Nursing.
That's just off the top of my head. I've talked to a lot of people, so I'm not really sure what all I've actually listened to, honestly. But yeah.
Yeah, like I haven't really listened to music in the last 3 days, oddly enough. So it's like my brain is like, fuck, what's music right now?
I listen to too much, man. It's hard to keep some straight sometimes. So it's about all I had to talk about. Unless y'all wanted to bring something else up.
We have a music video that came out today.
You showed it.
Yep. I forgot because it didn't show it on my screen.
Alrighty. So I'm just gonna move to the outro then. if you're looking for something that's equally beautiful and devastating, you need to check out Modern Grotesque, Dreamwell's sophomore full length, which came out back in February. You guys are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Bandcamp, all the streaming services. Are there any other social plugs I'm missing? And I believe it's Dreamwell RI on all of them, right?
Yeah.
Should be updated to that, yeah.
Okay. As for my channel, drop me a follow so you always know when I go live. You can also sub to get access to some exclusive emotes and the interviews before they hit YouTube and streaming services. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. YouTube folks, if you like the video, please drop a like, tickle the notification bell. Don't forget to subscribe. It's a great way to support me for free. Check out my music, The Sound That Ends Creation, at thesoundthatenscreation.bandcamp.com. My next guest is Noel, who dropped a disgusting debut album back in February. Join us this Sunday, the 18th at 7 p.m. Central, right here at twitch.tv/thecast.ends-creation for the live cast. Thanks for being here, guys. Hope you had a good time.
Thanks. We did.
Hell yeah. And thank you guys for watching and listening.